I don't know if y'all ever heard this story, but that Frank Ocean is one of the biggest scammers in rap. Like this, not even rap, I mean music in general. Like the way he finessed his label was crazy. Like I don't know if you heard it.
Tyler goes, what's good, boy? Franklin goes, hey man, my label's not letting me release music. Tyler goes, hey, why don't you just release it for free? Franklin goes, for free? Tyler goes, yes. This is called a mixtape. Labels have no control over it since it's free. So Franklin releases a mixtape, and it takes
what
the
I hate about rap today? A lot of niggas will drop an album and categorize it as a mixtape because they know it's ass. Like niggas drop some trash music and they just categorize it. Oh yeah, that's a mixtape, knowing damn well when they was making it, it was an album.
World by storm. His label goes over to him and says, Frank, I knew you had it in you. Frank says, give me $1 million. They said, $1 million? What? Frank goes, you want a good album, right? His label goes, that mixtape you had, we're just gonna commercialize it. Frank goes, okay, go for it. The label goes, I don't like how you said that, but let's take a look at this album. Oh. See, the problem that Def Jam, which was his label, was having is they couldn't take his mixtape and
he had samples on it,
into an album. Because in Frank's mixtape, he used too many things called samples, which means he just took some part of other people's songs and put them into his song. Jam goes, touche, Frank, so make us an album. And he makes them a heck of an album. 3 weeks. That was all it took for him to make an album that would get the attention of Beyonce's, Jay-Z's, Kanye's. Everyone's asking Frank to be on his song. The label said, that's our boy. That's what we was telling you. Frank, at this point, you know that boy was fiending for revenge. He starts teasing an album that he says is gonna take the world by storm. He said, I made that first one in 3 weeks. What y'all think finna happen when I take my time? The label said, take anything you need. Frank goes, okay, but I get full creative control. The label goes, well, sure, what can go wrong? Listen closely. Frank signed.
And this right here, the finesse of the century. So the label was like, look, Frank, we need two. The label's like, look, you need one more album and you out of your contract. So what this nigga does, like he said, he signs this deal with Apple Music. He drops a album. He drops a visual album on just Apple Music. Next day, drops the actual album when he out of his contract.
Has a deal with Apple
Like, this nigga was crazy.
Release his upcoming album for $20 million.
He came up $20 million.
Def Jam goes, ooh. Frank goes, oh, but I can't give you any of this money, Def Jam, because you have the rights to my songs, not it being performed. Def Jam goes, okay, true. Def Jam goes, but you know how record labels work, right? We own you until you give us the amount of albums we ask for. Frank
listen.
Yeah, but y'all are aware that this is my last album, right? Def Jam goes, yes, but you said it was going to be amazing, so we know this payout is going to be super good. Frank goes, sure. But y'all want to keep talking or y'all want to see the album? They said, let's see the album. So they start watching the visual album. And Frank Ocean starts building stairs. Then he builds some more stairs and some more stairs. In fact, he spends 140 hours building a set of stairs. The label said, okay, I see what you're doing there, Frank. Where the songs, though? Frank goes, just keep watching. At the end of him building stairs, a couple songs play. The label goes, it's one of the ones that takes a while for you to understand, right? Frank goes, yeah. I'm out the contract, right? The label goes, yeah.
This nigga came out, dropped some bullshit to get out of his contract. He dropped a visual album to get out of his deal. Turns around and drops the album. Like, yo, this nigga's crazy. This nigga's crazy.
I don't remember seeing this. His assistant says, sir. He said, hold on, I'm trying to find Nike. They said, sir. The label head said, what? They said, sir, that wasn't the album. He said, what? He said, the label head said, speak up, man. They said, Frank dropped his real album today.
He really finessed them niggas.
They said, yes. It turns out the one that he dropped for us yesterday was a fake album. And the album that he dropped today was his real album. It's called Blonde. An album considered one of the greatest pieces of work ever. And that's
I'm not gonna lie. That is a fact. Blonde is definitely one of the greatest albums of all time. I'm not gonna lie. Like, nigga Frank was in his bag.
Not even the crazy part. You see, that last album he gave them could just be considered marketing. See, prior to when an artist releases an album, they need to post something to get everybody reminded that they exist. So by him posting this weird avant-garde album, people go, oh, what's Frank Ocean doing? And then boom, Blonde comes out. On top of that, he gets paid $20 million for the marketing by Apple.
He did get paid $20 million by Apple just for that little visual album. So the nigga came up $20 million and got out a record deal in the same fucking thing. The same little visual album did both of them at the same time.
Music on top of all that, what that $20 million
you finna be on the way. You finna be down on nigga lying. You don't never be down here. I might, if you going to Brandon House.
He got from Apple Music, he was able to pay the $2 million advance he got for this weird avant-garde album by himself. So he was able to keep all of the songs that he made for the album anyways.
Nah, nigga really finessed them niggas. He got the 20 mil, paid his advance off, and got out the whole
label. Lucian Grand goes, no more exclusive deals ever. If Apple calls, hang up. If Spotify call, hang up. If Pandora call, what do? They say hang up. So through this, Franklin retained the
Nah, Frank really was tough. Frank really cooked them niggas. He played the label at their own game. Think about it. Think about how many labels be holding niggas' music for granted. Niggas, you'll sign to a label thinking, oh yeah, this about to change my life. Whole time they is playing with you. Whole time they holding your music for hostage. You think you about to drop some music? No, sir. Nigga, we tell you when you drop. Remember what happened with Uzi? When Uzi was going through that label war. And that nigga had to get Rock Nation and all of these companies and all these associations to help get him out of his deal. That's what labels be doing to niggas. Nah, Frank was really cooking. Like, even though Frank do be tripping, he kind of is a bad person. Frank, if y'all remember, even though he did get out that label deal, he do be bullshitting sometimes. If y'all remember when he did that, what was it, Coachella, when he did that Coachella performance and basically scammed all of his fans out of all their money and time. Basically, the nigga was like, yeah, I'm headlining, I'm performing at Coachella. And Coachella is 3 weekends. First 2 weekends, he performing. And it's not that good. Then on the last weekend, the nigga just calls out. He like, bro, I hurt my ankle. I don't want to perform no more. Then, not only that, but if you, during this time for this performance, Frank Ocean had some ice skaters. He had ice rinks. He had skaters. He had everything. He had the ice skaters had a whole choreography, like practice and put together and rehearsed. But while the festival was going on and before this last date came up, this nigga decides to say, yo, I don't want to do this no more. He did all of this. He had all these people excited, had all these people coming all the way out to Coachella just to see him perform. Had these ice skaters waste their time. Look. All of the people walking around him at the start of the performance were actually ice skaters, had been practicing for weeks and were supposed to be skating as part of the production. Coachella had to deconstruct the approved stage that had been planned and signed off on for months in advance and melt the entire skate rink and set it up how Frank decided today with no warning. That's why, if you remember, the performances was so ass because he just canceled everything. The nigga was just like, I don't want to do it no more.
Alright, I'm going to start off by saying Frank was over an hour late and people got there as early as 8 a.m. today. Secondly, he only performed for about 30 minutes max. Only did 3 of his popular songs. And the biggest thing is he never came out. He was behind the screen the whole entire time. By half the show.
I didn't know it was that bad. He didn't perform. The nigga hid behind the stage. Yo, that's
It was half
crazy.
empty already. People were leaving the entire time. I'm not saying like it was bad. I mean, that's up to you guys, but